Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we're going to be going through the financial situation that Chelsea are in. The club recently announced that we have been profitable in the last financial year, which ended in June 2024. We actually reported £128.4 million of profit for the financial year. Now, first of all, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I think we can all agree that it's healthy for a club to be profitable if it matches success on the pitch as well and your aspirations on the pitch. Chelsea have certainly not matched the aspirations that we are looking for from the football club as a fan base. So straight away, looking at the profitability of the club, I mean, that's the bare minimum. And that shouldn't really be a priority for us. Success has always been the priority. So I see a lot of fans celebrating the fact that, we are profitable. Even though, the previous season, we announced pre-tax losses of 90 million. So we've improved in that sense. So the question is, how have we been profitable, even though we've had no Champions League football? And, that's the main thing, really. And we haven't even had a front of shirt sponsor. So two of the main things that make clubs money, we have not had. So what has contributed to Chelsea's financial success in order to come out profitable in the last financial year? Now, there's a few key factors to look at. Number one, and this is probably the biggest factor of them all, is the sale of Chelsea women's team. Okay, now, for those of you who don't know, basically what the ownership did is they sold the women's team to themselves, just like they did with the hotels. We had two hotels which were sold by Chelsea FC Holding Limited to Blueco 22 Properties Limited. And obviously both of those companies are controlled by Bowley and Clearlake, right? So we're basically selling the hotels to ourselves. Those hotels that were sold allowed us to lose 89 million instead of 166 million in the 22-23 accounts. So basically what we've done is something similar with the women's team this time. And it says that there was 198.7 million pounds of profit on disposal of subsidiaries. Now, the women's team could be a part of that, if not basically all of that. And that's what has allowed us to be profitable. So without selling the women's team, to put it bluntly, Chelsea would have been a bit of a pickle financially. And we have found so many loopholes over the past couple of years. And we've almost laughed at other teams, haven't we? Because we've spent all this money and then we've found a way to sort of claw our way back and sell players and make good profits. We sold Mount for good money. We sold Havertz, Gallagher, all of these players, Lewis Hall, Hutchinson to Ipswich. Like the list is Maatson to Aston Villa. So we found a way to certainly generate an income through selling Cobham talents. But this is not going to be sustainable long term, obviously, because you can only sell the hotels to yourselves once, and you can only sell the women's team once. So where does that leave the club? And should we be happy about the position we're in at the moment? Now, just to clarify, everything that Chelsea have done is absolutely within the rules of the Premier League. UEFA, it's sort of crossing that line. We don't know if UEFA are going to take any action. They probably won't, if we're being honest. But you never know. It's quite unpredictable. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Now, our revenue actually fell from 512.5 million in 2023 to 468.5 million. Now, the main reason for that is obviously loss of Champions League football, obviously not having a front of shirt sponsor as well. So where did we get some extra profits from, do you ask? Because obviously we sold the women's team, but there are other aspects where the club are looking to make money. This is not a one-trick pony. We have lots of avenues where the club is looking to basically make money off of the fan base. The first one is matchday revenue, which has increased by about 4 million. It's gone up to 80 million from 76.5 million. So we're looking at increase in tickets. That will obviously help. If food or beverages go up in price, that will obviously increase the profits as well. So when my season ticket went up by about 7 or 8%, a lot of other Chelsea season ticket holders also had the same thing. We have other season tickets that went up by maybe 15, 20%. And that's where the 4 million in matchday revenue came from. And we're going to see that climb again next season, because we already know, especially in hospitality, that there's going to be a 30% rise on some of the tickets. Now, I don't know that because I necessarily sit in those seats, but I've been told by people that they won't be renewing for that reason. As far as I'm aware with my own season tickets, I don't think the price will go up, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it does go up. Commercial revenue also increased from 210 million to 225 due to an increase in player loan income and strong sales on non-match day activities. So what are non-match day activities? That could be anything from tours of the museum. It could be merch, potentially. Don't really know what else to say. Maybe, stadium tours, things like that. So they've obviously managed to maintain good sales, and the pricing's presumably gone up for them as well. And Chelsea have certainly taken advantage. So those are a few of the factors that have helped. Obviously, we sold a lot of players as well. Now the question is, what are we going to do to balance the books this year and maintain a stance of profitability? Because again, we know that Clear Lake in particular care about the club being profitable, because if it's not profitable, then it's less attractive for buyers. And Clear Lake are private equity. Private equity don't stay at clubs for long, guys. They go in, they make the business more profitable, and then they leave. That's what they do. Bowley, I can't necessarily say the same thing. I think he'll probably want to stay at Chelsea for a while. But I don't see how we're able to maintain this sort of profitability without Champions League football. On top of the fact of actually being successful, right? If you're successful in the Premier League, you'll obviously make more money, you'll attract better players, and you will get more broadcasting revenue. Same with Champions League, you'll get more money from UEFA. We're lucky that we are going to be getting quite a lot of income from the Club World Cup as well. It's 38 million just to enter the competition for teams like Chelsea, Bayern Munich and Man City. And so we are currently, according to the books, very healthy. But this shouldn't be a priority for us as a fan base. We shouldn't be celebrating this. And when I see people celebrating this, I think, what have we turned into as a club? Are we Tottenham? The fact that we're no longer looking at how many trophies we've won this season. We're looking at whether we survive PSR or whether we could weather the storm of FFP. I mean, for fuck's sake, people. Where are the standards at this club? And, we probably will win a trophy this season, which is obviously a good thing. But the Conference League, you have to try harder not to win it than to win it if you're in Chelsea's position. If we don't win that competition, it's I'll be baffled. So we know that we'll at least get into the Europa League next season. But again, that's not enough. We need Champions League football, guys. We need Champions League football. And not only do we need Champions League football, we need standards at this club that Champions League is not enough. It's the building block to hopefully go on and achieve more. That's what we need at this club. So when we look at the financial statements every year that come out, when we look at the situation the club is in terms of profitability, the way we sell players, the way we buy players, the wage caps, why is this the supreme focus of the fan base now? Again, I'm not saying every fan thinks this way, but I'm just going based on what I read online. And a lot of people seem to think that, this is this is like the ultimate. this is not what Chelsea are supposed to be. We are not Financial Statements FC. We are not Balance the Books FC. We need to be competing for trophies, guys. We need to expect that as a fan base as well. And obviously, it's good that the club are in a healthy situation financially, although you could argue against that based on the loans that we've taken out. We took out 1.2 billion in terms of loans, and that interest is going to have to be paid by 2033. That's 2.5 billion if you include the interest, which means if we were to sell the club for 2.5 billion, the ownership would make nothing. So what does that value Chelsea at? What does that mean we have to get Chelsea valued at in the next 7 years? So there's a lot of different factors to this, but ultimately I want to be seeing Chelsea competing for trophies, and I want to see Chelsea fighting at the top of the table. And I hope you do as well. And I'm not really having a dig at anyone. I'm just saying that look at the bigger picture here. And obviously we can be happy that Chelsea are stable enough as it stands, but stability in football can change very, very, very quickly. And we need to remember that although this club is being run as a business, it's not just a business. It's a lifeline for a lot of people. And the success of the club helps people mentally get through life. I mean, I go to Chelsea home and away. I can assure you that it's a lot more fun, and life is just better when we're winning games and when we're competing at the top of the table than when we're inconsistent and the team doesn't look like they're trying hard enough and we lack quality, and then the ticket prices go up and you feel like you're being mugged off as a fan. We want to feel like we're all moving in the same trajectory, which is forwards and upwards. And I hope we can do that, but I do doubt that, if I'm honest with you. So let me know what you think, guys. Do you agree or disagree with anything I've said? What are your thoughts on the way that we've managed to actually come out as a profitable team with £128.4 million in profit due to the sale of the women's team and obviously other aspects of revenue that have gone up? Do you agree with the club's strategy, or do you think that something needs to change? All the best, guys, and we will catch up very, very soon.